And I think the thing that shocked many, not just in the Jewish community but more broadly, after such a sadistic, horrific atrocity perpetrated on that country, that there wasn't a surge in goodwill and solidarity. I think there was among many Australians, but there was also a parallel rise, inexplicably, of this
sort of extremism,
anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I think that has been, absolutely shocking. But I think, what actually was the message, though, of yesterday for, coming together in an event last night where they had over 10,000 people in one of our local parks on a perfect evening. And it was actually, it was an evening that I left actually feeling really hopeful because it was that the community was coming together and showing enormous strength, and you had leaders from other faiths, from many different people there to be with the Jewish community and to celebrate really the contribution of the Jewish community, but also the strength in the last year. So that has been, I think, one of the most positive parts of this. And even yesterday, I was speaking to a Jewish community leader, and he showed me this text from a Muslim Lebanese friend of his, where they were basically just sharing their concern and care for each other and their families and what everyone's going through. And I think that is actually what I find most inspiring, is people reaching out across divides and actually coming to our common humanity and the common pain that people are feeling.
I think that's the vast bulk of where Australians are at. Unfortunately, those louder, more extreme voices, like, for example, some in the Greens have accused, they're saying that Labor needs to be tougher in calling out Israel, suggesting, Adam Bandt suggests that Israel's guilty of genocide and Labor needs to be doing more to call that out. What do you say to the Greens' reaction at this time?
Look, I think the Greens are really out of line in terms of how they have conducted this, and really the politicisation of this conflict. That was from the very first time we got together after October 7 in this Parliament, where there was a motion that the rest of the Parliament supported, except the Greens, condemning that horrific attack on October 7. And they have been out of line since then. I remember the New South Wales Greens, some of the New South Wales Greens were encouraging people to the Sydney Opera House demonstration against the Jewish community then. I can't believe that they would do that. So they have been out of line. Now, the truth is that this has been a horrific time for Israelis, but it has also been a horrific time, for Palestinian people as well. What Hamas has done has kicked off, terrible situations across the world and terrible suffering. And I think that's what we need to recognise, have that compassion, but also be clear-eyed about how do we get out of it.
Did you welcome Mark Butler's comments last night? Was there any difference in what he said to what you'd heard previously from the government?
Perhaps it was more clearly put, I think. And, I think we should have, as a country, united foreign policy as much as possible. I mean, I genuinely think that's important. And, I listened to Richard Marles on the weekend where he said Israel had the right to respond. I thought that was also appropriate. So I think, we should be trying to have as much as possible a common approach to foreign affairs, but also a common approach to, I think, recognising the human toll and the human suffering that, has been kicked off by that horrific attack on October 7.